What's up, everybody? It's your boy TGK, and today we're going to get straight into what I'm trying to talk about. As you see on the thumbnail, the Dallas Mavericks are the third seed as predicted in my preseason prediction video. And I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about these other topics that I have in mind. So without wasting time, let's get straight into these topics. Number one, the Dallas Mavericks are the third seed currently right now, and if they can hold on to it, they'll finish as the third seed, obviously, and they'll have the third seed position in the playoffs, and they'll take on whoever is the sixth seed. Now, the thing about it is, a lot of people did not even think the Dallas Mavericks are going to be the third seed, but if you were to look back in my archives in my YouTube videos, you'll see in my preseason predictions of the Dallas Mavericks that I predicted them to end up being the third seed. Now, my prediction is really that the Mavericks are going to finish in the top three in the West. So now that today is officially a day that we are finally the third seed for the first time in quite some time this late into the season, figure I dropped the video, kind of patting myself on the back, but really just outlining the fact that, hey, my prediction was pretty on point. Now, what my prediction was what I said with the prediction, a lot of it was based on KP, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jason Kidd's ability to help the team out, right? So they were the X factors for me. Now, KP ended up being an X factor in the realm of him getting us Spencer Dinwiddie, and Jason Kidd has given us an identity now. So he has definitely came through and has been a great head coach for the Dallas Mavericks. So all the early on hate that they had of signing him, everyone else hating on Jason Kidd, a lot of people are eating some crow right now. And a lot of people that hated on the Dallas Mavericks trade, for example, Rusty Buckets is a YouTuber that he just straight up shitted on the Dallas Mavericks trade. I'm pretty sure he's eating some crow right now too with that Rusty take. So there's a lot of people that's eating crow on the Dallas Mavericks, which is great for me to enjoy. But hopefully the Dallas Mavericks can hold on to the third seed because it's not a official and it's not a actual thing yet until the season is over. So if they can hold on to it, it'll be great for me to be like, damn, my preseason predictions was on point. Now, that being said, it's a good day to be a third seed, and it's also a good day for some recognition for the Dallas Mavericks. So that leads me into the next topic. The next topic is the national coverage and the local coverage of the Dallas Mavericks. First, let me touch on the national topic, right? The national NBA basketball coverage of the sport. If you watch the national coverage, I know some people don't like to watch it. I like to keep a pulse on it because it tells me a lot of how they see the way the league is going, the way the season is going. And a lot of it is nauseating sometimes. But if you've been watching, say ESPN, Fox Sports, whatever the case may be, 90% of the topics are the Lakers going to make the playoffs? Are the Nets going to make the playoffs? Or the play-in tournament? Oh, what about the Lakers? What are they going to do? They talk about the same thing over and over. They beat the topic to death. Like, we understand that LeBron made a mistake or whatever the case may be, but you beat the topic into our heads. And if it ain't the Lakers and the Nets, it's about, all right, who's the top four teams in the East? Obviously, ESPN leans heavily on the eastern side of things because they have, you have New York, you have Boston, you have Chicago. So those are big, media outlets. So I understand the coverage for them. And I would only give them credit on two occasions when they talk about the Memphis Grizzlies because they do deserve their props, and sometimes that they'll talk about the Phoenix Suns because they definitely deserve their props for having great seasons. Both those teams are doing great. They're having great seasons. The outlier is the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks are a game away from having the third best record in the NBA. That's a better record of all the Eastern teams and be the third seed in the West. And they had just about as great of a run as the Boston Celtics had, but haven't even reached 20% of the coverage that the Celtics have had. And the reason I bring up the national media coverage, because I know I'm not the only one that is tired of talking about the Lakers and how irrelevant they are. They're forced to be relevant. When you got so many good teams right now, you got the Pelicans doing something crazy right now, coming from nothing and being in the playoff tournament. Same thing with the Spurs. You got the Memphis Grizzlies that are, 19, 18, and 2 without Ja Morant. You have the Bucks with Giannis and his resurgence in the MVP conversation with his play as of recently. And even the Joker of how he's been playing and how he's apparently just, apparently he's just the bona fide MVP, and there's no discussion to that, which I'll talk about that in a bit. The media coverage has been asked on this NBA season. Again, I understand that the Lakers bring ratings, and I understand that I feel people's pain when they talk about the Dallas Cowboys. As a Dallas Cowboys fan, now I understand how it is for the national media to be talking about one team that is not as relevant as these other teams have been playing. So when it comes to the Lakers, why are we talking about a team that's not even going to even be in the playoffs? Come on, national media, we got to do better. Now, for the local media, maybe it's me. Maybe when I tune into the radio, specifically 105.3 The Fan, I just have a bad time of whenever the times I choose to tune in. Because every time I tune in, we got Mike Bassick talking about baseball nuggets, or it's what Amari Cooper is doing after he got traded, or what Jerry Jones and his creepy front office is doing, or the negligence that they're not doing. Why are they not hiring Bobby Wagner and all this stuff, right? I've gotten to a point where I've become fatigued of Dallas Cowboys coverage. Like, we have a generational talent in Luka Doncic. We have a team in the Dallas Mavericks that are top 3 in the West right now. They're basically contenders in a way. And yet we waste so much time talking about what the Cowboys going to do. Is Dak Prescott a top 5 quarterback? Is CeeDee Lamb going to be the X receiver? Is Michael Gallup going to come up and be the Y? Or is he going to be a slot? Or whatever the case may be. All these topics and conversations. Why did we let go of La'el Collins? The whole debacle with Randy Gregory. And I get it. Those are hot takes, or they're good discussion points. I get it that the fan gets most of their ratings, or even people around here locally get most of their ratings and views off the Dallas Cowboys, which I was guilty of 2-3 years ago. But the thing is, we literally have a talent here that no other team has in Luka Doncic, right? The closest thing you can think to Luka is LeBron James. And right now, LeBron in his later years is not the current Luka, but we have a talent that is on that talent level of a great LeBron James. So having a talent like Luka that's a bona fide superstar that is going to take us to the places we ain't seen in quite a while here, it baffles me that we don't even talk about them. We talk more about the Rangers. We talk more about the Cowboys. And the Rangers deserve it to have some discussions. The Dallas Stars deserve to have some discussions. I would like to know about what my other teams are doing around here, but all of the coverage is on the Cowboys. And I get it. I understand that a lot of it is rating based. A lot of it comes down to money. But I think the Dallas Mavericks deserve to be talked about. And I understand Bally Sports dropped the ball with the whole television deal, which I hope, my prayer one day, if Mark Cuban, if you're watching this, I hope that the Mavericks can somehow get back on local television, like one day a week or something. Give us one day a week where we could watch them on UPN 21, or I don't even know if that's a channel anymore, or TXA 21, whatever that 21 channel used to be, where you used to see the Mavericks on local television. It was a great time back then. But I think that's what has hurt our fan base here. We get to see the Cowboys on local television, can't see the Mavs. And I know the counter argument is that, oh, well, the Rangers, they have good ratings. Well, I mean, that's a good point. But at the end of the day, I think if you want to grow a fan base, you definitely need to put them on local television and get them out there anyway. But our local media needs to do a better job of covering all of our teams and not just Jerry Jones and his circus that he has. Which takes me to my next topic. We have a MVP candidate, and we still can't talk about him. We have Luka Doncic that is putting up numbers, crazy, right? And I feel like he's getting slept on for an MVP candidate or an MVP award this year. You got Joker, you got Embiid, you got Giannis. To me, those are only 4. Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Joker. And when you look at the seasons, coming into the season, everyone kept saying, oh, the Dallas Mavericks, they have the same record. They don't have any players and this and that. So based on that narrative, it's just been Luka and a bunch of bums, right? That's been the narrative. Joker, just because he doesn't have Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, suddenly it's this sympathetic award, right? Because there's this thing that, what's his name, Brian Windhorst said. A lot of it is based on narrative. Not all the time, but some of the time. Here's a little clip.
Does that affect your vote? Not an individual game would probably not affect my vote. I will say this. Sometimes the storyline affects it. And what I mean by that is the year that Westbrook won the MVP, not only did he have the triple doubles that he was getting that year, but it was a bleep you season coming back from Durant and carrying that team into the playoffs. I think they ended up being the 6th seed. And late in the season, they went on a run. There was this moment late in the season, I'll never forget this. They're playing in Denver. Westbrook gets a triple-double that I think guaranteed him averaging the triple-double for the year, and he hit like a 40-footer to win the game. The game eliminated the Nuggets from the playoffs, and the crowd in Denver gave him a standing ovation because they had seen something otherworldly. Like a moment like that kind of narrative is powerful. It doesn't happen that way every year. But I also will tell you this, and this is just human nature. Once you've won an MVP, or if you've won 2, the bar becomes high. This happened with LeBron. Like LeBron LeBron won 4 MVPs in 5 years. And I think I voted for him. I think I gave him my first place vote in something like 7 out of 8 years there in his Cleveland, Miami years. But basically the voters got tired of voting for LeBron. He wasn't just competing against the other guys in the award. He was competing against himself from previous years.
And in that little clip when he said that, it literally told me, like, all right, so all these voters, right, these people that have the votes that are voting for the MVP award, I'm pretty sure they're relying on this narrative. You can't have a 6th or 5th seed have a player that's the MVP when you have a player like Luka that has a better record, that is doing more with less, because we do have less in comparison to the Nuggets, because they have coming into the season, even if they didn't have Murray and Michael Porter Jr., you would still say they had a better team coming into the season. You can't change that now, because if you felt as strong about the Mavericks as I did, then you would know that the Mavericks are going to be in the 3rd seed like I did. But the majority of people didn't see the Mavericks like that. So because of that, Luka should be ranked far ahead. He's the most doubled player. He's probably the 2nd or 3rd highest usage rate. He's the only player to average 27 points, 9 rebounds and 9 assists for the season. So he's doing things that other players are not currently doing. Giannis impacts both sides of the court. Joker, somewhere in that vicinity where he impacts one side, he's getting better defensively. Luka improved a lot better defensively as well. And Embiid is the same thing. And I get it that there's voter fatigue as well when it comes to Giannis. But why isn't there voter fatigue when it comes to Joker? Because he's been the talk of the town last year. He was MVP last year. And now he has a worse team, and he doesn't have any voter fatigue, but Giannis does. And he ain't been voted MVP in a year. And he's doing about the same numbers as Joker is. All I'm saying is that this MVP narrative should end as far as based on narrative. It should be based on the impact that they had to their team. And then that's where you could throw in Booker. That's where you could throw in Tatum. But I don't think Tatum does nearly enough what these other players do. And I don't think Booker does nearly enough what these other players do. They're just in better situations. They have better teams. For example, John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, they're like 18, 19, and 2 without him. Come on now. You have an amazing team without you. You go onto that team, you make it even better. Now, Luka, he's the one that's taking his team up to a whole different level, and he's making his teammates better. That's why they are performing better, because he draws so much attention. He just makes the game easier for everybody. And I think Luka should definitely get consideration, at least be top 3 in the MVP consideration. That's all I'm saying. And that's where I say, like, the media coverage from locally to nationally, it's a disgrace to me in certain aspects, because you have a player that's doing things as hasn't been done in so long. I mean, he got a triple-double the other day in like 23, 24 minutes. The fastest one. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Let's get to the next topic. All right, guys, so those are all the topics I got for today. I just really wanted to kind of air that out and let y'all know how I feel about these things that are coming up, and how the Mavericks are the 3rd seed now, and how they could end up being the 3rd seed of the entire season and go into the playoffs with a home field advantage playoff series, and hopefully get a second one. You never know, but they definitely gonna get one if they could stay in that spot. And I don't know, man. I really just hope that this narrative changes and that there's better coverage on the Dallas Mavericks in general. I hope there's better coverage on all these other teams. Hell, the Grizzlies, Suns, even the Warriors. They get plenty of coverage. You got the Toronto Raptors that are having a great comeback season. You got the Hornets that are right there. I mean, I feel like they should have taken a leap, but they haven't taken a leap like that. The Atlanta Hawks fell off. I think that should be a story. Like, hey, why'd y'all fall off so much from Eastern Conference Finals to probably not even in a play-in game. And also, let's talk about Miami Heat. You know, are they a serious contender? Because it's like they have a bunch of B-plus players or A-minus players. Nah, B-plus. There's a bunch of B-plus players on that team, and they don't have that one bona fide star that could put them over the hump. But collectively, they're a good team. It's just there's so many stories that you could talk about these other teams that we waste so much time on the Lakers. And then locally, we waste so much time on the Cowboys. Again, I think from covering sports and media in general, I think it's better when you get a taste of everything, man. Because when it's just one thing over and over, you just get tired of hearing it, and you grow this not necessarily this hatred for them. It's just you just get burnt out from hearing about them, and you become disinterested. Like, I really don't care what the Lakers are doing. They're irrelevant this season. You think I want to know about what Portland Trailblazers are doing? They're not even in the play-in. The Rockets, I'd rather talk about the Rockets than the Lakers because the Rockets have youth. They got a team that they could build around moving forward as long as they develop their stars. I'd rather talk about the Rockets than the Lakers. Ain't that some shit? Anyway, man, I hope y'all took something from this video. Hope y'all share it with your friends or whatever the case may be. But I predicted the Mavs would be the 3rd seed October 19th, 2021. And here we are, May 31st, 2022, and the Dallas Mavericks are the 3rd motherfucking seed. Ain't that some shit? Anyway, guys, been your boy TGK. Catch you on the next one.